Hey, Kendall.
Hi.
How did Orchard of Strings start? Where did it come from?
I'd say it all started beginning of high school. That's where I really wanted to try and join a band. That's where I wrote my first song that later I still have an Orchard of Strings.
Oh, cool. Are you more of a music person or a lyrics person?
Music person.
Me
Lyrics
too.
are hard for me.
Me too. Yep. Yeah, I hear that.
Yeah.
Where did the name come from? Was it hard to come up with?
I was trying to think of a name for a while, and looking back at the names that I had in mind at first, I laugh at them now. I specifically remember I was in the shower when I thought of Orchard of Strings.
Oh, cool.
And then I was like, oh, that's actually a good name. I should keep that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, the shower's a place of all good ideas.
Yeah.
So how long have you been going?
Oh, I think just 3 years so far. I wrote my first song when I was 15 called City Season. That's the first song I ever put out. And I wrote that in about 9th grade of high school. And it's funny too because I originally just thought to myself I would have that be a song that I'd do with just a band. And I had a band that I formed with a couple friends in high school. We didn't really work out, of course, right? But that was one of the songs I tried playing, and I wrote some lyrics and just had a singer sing them for me, and then a drummer. And eventually, after that one didn't work out, I was like, I need to save it for the band that's gonna work. It needs to be with me, if that makes sense.
Right, it needs to be your band.
Yeah, otherwise someone might say, oh, I'm leaving. I'm like, oh, well, great. There goes all our great music.
That's the hard
I
thing
can't promote it anymore.
Right, with a band dynamic, you have to. Yeah, it's either somebody's idea or it's everybody's idea. Yeah, it's got to be clear whose project it is. Who's leading, who's creating.
For sure.
Yeah, that's cool. So now you've settled on Orchard of Strings as you and whoever's playing with you.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Cool. So your first song, City Season, how did that come about?
So I was just doodling around the guitar, and I just played. It was just two unusual chords that just like really struck a nostalgic feeling to me. At the time, there was a song that I fell in love with called 1979 by the Smashing Pumpkins. And the reason that I fell in love with that song was because of the nostalgic feeling it gave me. I would watch the music video to go along with that, and it almost made me feel like I was an old man, like reminiscing on my high school days when I watched that video. Those two chords, I was like, oh, this kind of gives me the same feeling. I was like, I should try and write like a nostalgic song that when I'm older, I can look back on my high school days, childhood days, and kind of reminisce about them.
Yeah. Tell me about this new EP. Where did the songs come from? Were all these songs together in your head? Or was it just like, turns out I've written all these songs and it turns out these work together?
Second option.
Yeah.
The second way, I guess. Just kind of combined some songs together and thought they worked. But there is one that I had around the longest. I've been holding on to it for a couple of years.
Which song is that?
That's called Dreamin' Alone. There was one instrumental that I wrote in like a day, kind of not even thinking about it, just like writing it as I recorded it. It was like, I'm just gonna sit with my guitar and just play what comes to mind, and if I like it, then I'll keep the recording. So that's an instrumental that's in the EP, and then it was all recorded here at the lovely Toaster Oven by None other than Colin Foy here and Bly Walentine, who is not here, unfortunately.
Also, I gotta just say, recording with you was so fun because of that. Because the music is so meditative and droney, but also improvisational in that way. Like, because I feel like your songs, you set a few parameters, a few musical parameters, and then you just play in that way for like 3 to 5 minutes. It feels like, at least to me.
Oh, interesting.
And so that aspect of it is really fun. And we did some improv tracks on there too. Bly did some piano and stuff. And it just felt like, oh yeah.
Bly did some accordion. You'll hear that on there.
Oh yeah. And there's kind of no bad notes as long as we're playing within the parameters of the song, you know?
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool.
Sure.
It makes it very free, and it feels like the songs all just kind of flow into each other too. Even though they're very distinct, they work really well together.
Yeah, for sure.
It's cool. So tell me about the sound of Orchard of Strings. I was just telling you this before we started filming, but I feel like you're in the rare category, kind of like washed out, of bands that sound like their name.
Yeah.
But could you describe the sound?
It's very stringy, I guess. I like to add a lot of strings.
In all senses. So guitars, pianos, violins, harps, like any string.
Yeah. So I just love the sound of layering different guitars together. Maybe having one guitar playing like half of a chord and then the other guitar playing the other half, kind of thing.
Yeah. For like different voices.
Yeah.
Playing on different parts of it.
Yeah, and almost making it sound like one and just having everything blend in. So I'm really into that.
It's kind of Phil Spector wall sound, but very focused on strings.
Yeah.
Instead of,
There's a little bit of a vibe to it too.
It feels like the sun setting.
Yeah.
It's got that like closing time. It almost it's like almost nostalgic too. Not that the music sounds old, but it
makes sense.
It gives me that feeling of like longing.
That's awesome.
That comes with and sunset and all those things. That's cool. What's your live band like right now? Because I could imagine it just being like 8 guitar players and a string octet, and then you.
Yeah, I would love that. That's the dream. That's the dream. But it's really bare bones right now. So it's me on vocals and guitar. I have my friend Chucky Mayer on bass and my friend Bella Grace on backup vocals, and my friend Jesse Kendall on the drums. But if I can find any violinists or string players, I am more than happy to have them play to grow my band. I don't want to keep it as a 4-piece, but
the orchard's got to grow.
Exactly.
You've done this EP, and that'll be coming out soon. Where do you see Orchard of Strings evolving?
I would never really want it to end, and I'd see it just growing with me and continuing on as long as I do. Any sort of pretty music I make is probably just going to go under the name Orchard of Strings until I'm buried in the grave. So.
Yeah. What's the perfect setting for this EP? Where should people be? What time of day should it be? What should they, inside, outside? What's the ultimate setting to listen to the new EP?
Well, I'd definitely say outside at least. Go in the canyon, go in nature. And, I feel like it's either a morning song or an evening song. or not songs plural. Maybe you could listen to music anytime, but
Oh, I'd agree with that. Unless it's
I think it's a
cloudy day.
yeah, that's right. A rainy day, cloudy day.
It's a great setting. That's right.
Yeah, it's great to listen to in the autumn, maybe winter, maybe spring. Maybe when it's a little cold outside, you have to have a light jacket on. That's probably
Beautiful. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Yeah. I'm excited to hear it. Sounds great. What's the EP called?
Brain Rain.
Brain Rain. Orchard of Strings.